We in the chop shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. We live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. Yeah, it's lit in the chop shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based the debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30. Let's do a first take on Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Carter Ray and Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, he hit me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the chop shop, cause they cutting up. It's retro, coming to you live to the chop shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the chop shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the chop shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the chop shop. We live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. We live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the chop shop.
20 minutes of your day. Your midday sports happy hour, the Chop Shop. Yours truly, Chris Walker, coming to you from the Empire State with my homeboys Robert Hatter, and the hat looked like he got a new brim again today, Jimmy Cheat Sheet Hicks.
Chris,
fellas, what's good?
Chris, you know I wanna start. First of all, but I can't start this show without recognize happy birthday to my son. My heartbeat outside of my body. Young fella turned 25 today, enjoying himself and enjoying his life. I mean, it's just a proud day for me. I'm beaming with pride. So I just want to give a shout out to Robert Hatter, the fourth, not Robert Hatter Jr. I'm the third. He's the fourth. So Chris Walker, when you always talk about he's the fourth, that's a regal name, the fourth. So
one thing we know is sure. What we know is sure.
Yeah.
Is the fourth could actually play. How about that, Jimmy? The fourth could actually play.
Yeah.
Last thing we know for sure that the fourth could play.
He was bitter decent. But you know what, Jimmy? You know what I was thinking about, y'all, over the weekend? You know, I remember people were calling the 2019 basketball recruiting class, they were calling it weak. You know, I heard some scouts. I heard some, I was down at the McDonald game. I went to Jimmy, you and I, we was at the Jordan brand. People was kind of calling that class a little weak. But let me tell you something. I went back and looked at James Wiseman, that Tyrese Maxey, that Cole Anthony. Oh, my God. And this guy, Anthony Edwards, and this dude, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, that goes to Villanova. And I'm going to tell you, Chris, I confessed. I was down in Atlanta. I was at the McDonald All-American game. Chris, I thought he was terrible.
How is he gonna be terrible when he playing in the burger game?
Chris, listen, Chris, because if you drop me in from another planet, Jimmy, and that's the first time I ever saw him, I was the man missed more layups than Chris Walker. So Jimmy, I stand to be corrected. I'm watching this, but that's why you always got to go watch a person more than one time. And Jimmy, I know you. And Jimmy, one more thing before we start. Kent State got a freshman called Kalen Bennett. He was diagnosed with autism, and he scored his first college points last night. Man, it was an awesome moment. for Kent State. Kalen Bennett, y'all can look him up. Think about it. He overcame autism, Chris Walker, and played Division I basketball, man. Unbelievable. But I know it's baby Friday, Jimmy. What's going, Jimmy? We got some new. Hey, Jimmy always pulling always pulling out something. Always pulling out something. It's crazy. But come on, Jimmy. What you got, baby?
I mean, well, first we got NBA news. We go around the horn with it, and that is the Houston Rockets last night, and got a chance to go and check them out. Golden State, the Rockets did what they were supposed to do, 129 to 112.
How many people were there? That's all we want to know.
Yeah.
You know what? It was about 90%.
That Robert Hatter strikes again.
It was about 90%. I guess what happens is a lot of people want to realize now this wasn't the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Warriors. This was the Rockets. So a lot of people wanted to see the Rockets. Not necessarily, no matter who they were playing against.
They got 2 MVPs, fellas. You got to keep that in mind. They got 2 former MVPs.
And think about it. They coming off a 4-game road trip.
And a bunch of bumps, but keep going.
No, it's not. I mean,
and a bunch of bumps, but keep going though.
No, it's not. That's not. This is the team. So you seeing enough, and realize. Think about it like this. Now I was talking at the game. Even though people knew that Steph Curry was not playing, they knew Draymond Green was not playing, but still people wanted to go because some kids and people had families and that may have thought that they were going to be on the bench in street clothes and they would have seen them.
Uh-huh.
You know? And that makes all the sense in the world. But it was a good crowd, a good competitive game.
You can't see sitting way. You can't see him on the bench sitting way up there, Jim.
Oh.
It's hard to. Now you talking about you. You talking about
his name was Woody Woodpecker yesterday, man. Come on now.
Hey, but keep going. Hey, remind me before we get off the Rockets. I got some interesting video footage of the Rockets pregame. So I mean, keep talking, and I want to share some of that stuff with the fans. But you can keep talking.
Well, one of the things last night, and remember last week, like I said, it ain't the 20-game mark yet, and we'll revisit and give our grades and our reports card on the Houston Rockets at that time. But if you missed it about a week ago in the Chop Shop, we established our expectations for what type of load we expect for each of the key rotation players to contribute on a nightly basis. It's going to go up, it's going down, but we're talking about an average. And at that time, we had agreed that Daniel House should be pulling between around 9 points a game. That range was 8 to 10 between us on the Chop Shop. And as we're talking, you guys watch the footage of the Rockets on the screen. Now, last night, Daniel House had a season high, 17 points. He had 6 rebounds to go, and he has now settled into the role. Remember now, Daniel House is giving you, last night, 5 for 6 from 3-point land. So he's contributing right now, and because nobody is guarding Daniel House when he goes and leaks out, and that's why he finds himself open so much, because nobody is really they'd rather double team on one of the other guys than go and contest Daniel House or spend a lot of energy doing so. PJ Tucker also last night, a season high 22 points, 11 rebounds. That's the PJ that we know. Don't expect to see 22 points from PJ Tucker every night. Remember, we agreed he should bring about 11 points. We would be satisfied if he can just bring 11 points a game on the average.
Whoa. You look at what's going on the screen right now. What the hell is this dude wearing? Who is that?
That's PJ.
PJ Tucker.
What is going on in the NBA, fellas?
The sharpest team in the NBA. That's what's going on.
No. That's only, listen, if you got your IG working the right way, when the Dallas Cowboys travel, that's the sharpest team in sports.
I said the NBA, man. I said the NBA.
That's the sharpest team in sports if you got your IG working the right way. Anyway, back to you, Jimmy, with the NBA. Jimmy, I want to talk about, I want to revisit the minutes played topic yesterday.
Okay.
Because what I did was I went back, the fact check. You know, we got to do the 45. You know, you got to do 40. 45 is president now, so everything got to be fact checked.
Right.
I went back and I looked at every team, almost every team they played last night, to test my 8-man rotation theory. Right.
Well, college, right?
And college, not the pros, and the college. And I'll talk about that after you finish talking about the NBA.
Yeah, and of course last night Russell Westbrook he injured his leg gingerly in the fourth quarter, but he produced 18 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Austin Rivers had 12 points off the bench. I'm still concerned about the productivity off the bench because in the marathon of things for the Houston Rockets, they're going to need those minutes. James Harden has been the Iron Man for this team. He's only missed like 4 games, I think, last season. And guess what? He don't want to come out the game. He feel like he don't need to come out the game. But guess what? Other players do. And when it do, it should not be a drop-off from a guy that's producing or averaging, 10, 11 points a game to a guy that's averaging 2 points a game or 0. So it shouldn't be that. So that means we got to find ways for these guys on this bench to be able to insert themselves and find a way defensively, since they are the defensive-minded substitution unit, to create points offensive with their defense.
Jim,
man, what are you talking about over there? What team is Jimmy talking about right now? Is he talking about Pearland High School? What team is he talking about?
I said, no. This team was advertised as a defense on the bench. They were advertised as a defensive, a cohesive group.
Yeah, by the Rockets.
Chris, leave Jimmy alone. Because Jimmy just said something that I want to address, and I know we're going to talk about it a little later. But I got to put a footnote. He said James Harden plays all the games. If he playing all the games and y'all getting on him, but then when a guy want to load management, y'all getting on him. What do y'all want from people? You're mad at Kawhi because he load manager. You're mad at James because he play all the time. What do y'all want from me?
Who's mad at James because he plays? I just want him to play defense.
But you say no. Toward the end of the season,
I just want him to play defense.
No. He can't win in the playoffs because he's too tired. He can't win because he's playing. He wants to play. Y'all got to make up y'all's mind.
We want him to produce and show up in the postseason. That's the thing. It's the same old song right now. And last night for James Harden, 36 points, 13 assists. You need to keep that same energy in the postseason. That's all. Keep that same energy. You want to go and high five Travis Scott, in the game and all that. I mean, keep the same energy. And that's the thing. Beating Golden State has not been a problem for the Houston Rockets in the regular season.
Especially this team.
So that's not the thing. The Houston fans, okay, that's fine and dandy. Beat these guys. Well, not necessarily these guys, because they won't even be in the postseason. But beat a team of championship magnitude in the postseason. That would get the money.
If he load manage, you don't listen. Something about y'all. I don't know why y'all don't listen to me. Maybe if he load manage like the rest of these guys, then maybe he will be fresh. He can keep that same energy during the playoff. But he loves to play. Now, these other guys
he loves to play offense. Keep going now. He loves to play offense, Patter.
You know what, man? I just don't understand you double talkers. It's old management. Kawhi ain't playing. James Harden playing for y'all, and y'all still don't like him. Man, what else, Jimmy? Something wrong.
Bottom line, load management is a choice. And that's a choice and a conscious decision that's made by Kawhi Leonard. And there's people think about Kawhi Leonard right now is the way. Remember, they only played 2 games. They hadn't played since Sunday. I mentioned this yesterday. They being the Clippers. They went from Sunday to Wednesday. They played 2 games. Now, back-to-back, his doctor and the medical staff determined that he's not healthy enough to play in back-to-backs on a consistent level. So that's the medical term. So I'm not squabbling that. The thing is this. That means he had a choice on which game to play in. Either you play against defending the reigning MVP of the league, right? Opposite him. You're not going to, anybody guard him here and there, and they might defend each other here and there. But you shied away from a home game. You're not traveling on an airplane. You're not going on a charter flight. You're not going across the country to Milwaukee. You're at home after being home for 4 days.
Jimmy, that's rhetoric. Jimmy, I got to stop you. That's rhetoric you're talking right now. It's best to do it at home. You know why? Because those fans will have another opportunity to come and see him play. It's better if you do it on the road that fans might not have the opportunity to come see him play. He didn't shy away from that guy. That guy's on the East. I want to play when I want to play against the guys in the West where it's going to count in my seeding toward the end of the season. The West count, the East don't. Sometimes, Jimmy, you got to understand the game. It's an overall game is out there being played.
Well, okay, but that same energy you just said, you just dispersed. What happened? Explain why he played the first time when he sat against Utah. Where was that game at?
I don't care where.
Now you don't care when it was at.
I'm telling you, you were spewing out rhetoric. He didn't quit because he was at home. He didn't quit.
Hey guys, the other thing I realized when I watched it, I think, and maybe the Boom Boom Room can correct me, the next game is a national televised game.
It is.
And that's another reason why I think
it's on TNT.
Yeah. Right. So the next game is nationally televised.
Yes.
So if he played this game, he probably would have sat the next game.
Oh, he can't play back-to-backs.
That game was televised nationally last night.
Yeah.
No.
It's not big as TNT. ESPN's Wednesday coverage, Jimmy, is not as big, as global as the TNT one is.
With Chuck and Shaq and
I'm just telling you. And Ernie, that's the most watched. Thursday is the most watched night. Now, I'm just explaining. You can be cynical all you want to. I'm just explaining to you. Since you was at an NBA game last night, you should have asked one of them executives. Oh, you don't know the executives. You should have asked somebody about how this thing works.
Bottom line is he's sitting games.
That's duck season. That's duck season at its finest.
That man ain't ducking from that clown.
Duck season.
Man ain't ducking from that boy. No.
That's what everybody that duck says.
So, hey,
ain't nobody ducking.
Hold up.
But then you do it.
Hey, he already done whooped him. Okay? No. He didn't. He whooped him last year. He whooped up on him every week last year. Go look at the stats of him back to back against neck to neck against that guy.
The Toronto Raptors.
Yes. Yeah.
Toronto Raptors. He Milwaukee Bucks.
He whooped up on him. Wait a minute. I got a question. Chris Walker. Who's a champ right now? Who got a ring? Who got rings now?
What do you mean? Kyle Lowry got a ring. What you talking about?
No. I'm talking about Giannis. The dude that he's saying he ducking. The dude with the rings ain't ducking the dude without the rings, dude. I'm just telling you.
I wouldn't go so far to say as he's ducking him, but I will say this. I think if all 30 teams start adopting this load management thing, everybody's going to lose their mind. The NBA has to do something about this.
I disagree.
They have to, man.
I disagree.
Or play less games. Because
I disagree.
Why do you disagree?
Because only way I disagree, only thing the NBA is concerned about, you got to realize, only thing the Clippers are concerned about. The Clippers, like some clown or some Fitzsimmons guy, he came on TV talking like you, Chris, talking about well, they pay him $100 million to play every game. No, they don't. They gave him that $100 million to bring them a championship.
No, that's $100 million. They might as well put gasoline on that $100 million.
No. I'm just telling you, that's what. So whatever that young man need to do to put him in a position that I told y'all at the beginning of the season, but y'all don't listen to me. I sit there and distinctly and eloquently said that it would be load management for Kawhi, load management for Paul George. Paul George got 2 shoulders that he operated on. It's going to be load management. I told y'all. So I don't know what y'all whining about. He going to that Greek freak. He's scared of the Greek freak. Jimmy.
Here's this is what the narrative's going to be.
Like that. Huh?
This is what the narrative's going to be when the Clippers get bounced in the first or second round of the playoffs. The narrative's going to be load management. we should have played more games. We would have had home court advantage. Trust me, it's coming. It's coming. It's like Jimmy said, it's a built-in excuse. We had low management, so we didn't get home court advantage.
And you know what? And if I agreed with both of y'all, then all of us would be wrong. So I'm just gonna stick with mine. So yes, okay. See, you talking hypotheticals. If my auntie had a if my auntie had a breast, if my auntie had a beard, she'd be my uncle.
If they don't win the championship this year, because you're saying that they're hedging their bets on low management.
No. They building their team to win a championship.
Okay, so
excuse me. 30 other teams this year are trying to, except a few of them, are thinking they can win a championship. Last season, Masai Ujiri, he didn't know. I know he didn't think he was going to win a championship. He didn't know Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson was going. So, Chris, you with these hypotheticals, anything can happen. If Anthony Davis have one more injury, your season is done.
No. We'll still be in the playoffs.
No, you're going to be
my dude's going to show up.
You're going to be whining. Because guess what? It's going to be LeBron and them same old sorry dudes he was playing against last year who were getting their head tore off.
At least my LeBron can take somebody to a championship without other stars around. At least I know LeBron can do that. I don't know if your guy can, but I know LeBron can.
Wow.
I'll drop the mic on that. Do I need to drop the mic on that one? I'm about to say.
No. But
at 30, how about this? At 35.
Good. Who they played against?
Derek Johnson made a great comment. He says, but it's early in the season. They've been playing a week and a half, and he's already load managing.
That's a fan talking.
Twice.
You're not
twice. They played a week and a half. He sat out twice already.
Hold up. Y'all fans, he didn't play just as many games as LeBron James has played.
That's not true. LeBron played 7.
He has played just as many games as LeBron. Go look it up, Jimmy Hicks.
That's incorrect. Look it up right now.
Just as many games.
That is incorrect.
Oh, okay, excuse me. I'm sorry. LeBron James, Jimmy, look it up and quit looking at me ignorant. All I'm telling you, all I'm telling you is, hold on. LeBron James has played one more game than he has.
What are you talking about?
Look it up.
You talking about this year?
Right this year, right here.
So LeBron is 6-1 and they're 5-3.
He done played 8 games. Duh. Look at the number of games, Mr. Math Mutation.
No. The Clippers are 5-3 and the Lakers are 6-1.
They played 7 games. The other team played 8. 7 and 8. Man.
He sat 2.
Okay. So LeBron James has played in just one more game than him. That's what I said. And he's still looking at me like, I don't have a clue. What are you talking about, Robert?
I don't have a clue the logic of that statement. Of course,
he made a statement that the guy, hold up, the guy on this, what his name, said something about load management. The man had missed 2 games out of 8, but he played in 6. LeBron James has played in how many games?
All 7.
Okay, one more game than he played. That's all I said.
I think LeBron actually sat out one, didn't he?
That's a fact.
Hey, Jimmy, Melvin Dewey says, Jimmy Hicks, there better not be no load management next week at the season opener. I better see Chris Walker shut up.
You know what I love about this?
Is that going to be load management? Is that going to be load management at the season opener?
You know what I love about? You know what I love about this new age? You can give guys facts, and he gonna sit over there and have his opinion, and don't give a fat rat's behind about my fact. Because he wanted, what my opinion is, I just don't understand y'all. Y'all got your affirmations already set up. When a guy give you a fact, you can't even win an argument with a fact no more. You can't.
You can't. But you already know that, right?
No, I don't already. I'm talking about, hold up. Normal people you can. I'm talking about you and that boy, that other one over there. Like you and that other one over there.
You already know that.
Y'all ain't know. But come on.
And understanding, of course, we're talking NBA talk, just tuning to the Chop Shop. And of course, last night you watched one of the things that probably went up under the radar was the second game back for Trae Young after scoring 29 points. He was held to 9 points last night and an L to the Chicago Bulls. And of course, the Chicago Bulls, a home loss. And in that game, Jabari Parker, 18 points in his second start in replace of John Collins. Also in other news around the league.
What did John Collins? His P wasn't dirty?
Performance enhancing drugs. Did y'all?
What's that called? Mary Jane? What kind of? Oh, okay.
Masking agents.
Hey, Jimmy.
Masking agents. Oh, okay.
Jimmy, you got to check out that other video I just put on while we was off the screen. You're gonna love the last part of it. You're gonna love the last part of it. Hey, y'all.
You showed me on the floor last night?
No, man, I didn't see you nowhere. I looked all over that joint. Hey, I just didn't see you, Jimmy. I mean, you might have been in the restroom, but check out.
You know why? You know what I thought?
Hey, check out the end right there.
Who was that?
Mamacita.
Who's that? Wait a minute. And so, of course, speaking of international action, Luka Doncic was at it again last night, 27 points, and the Mavericks squeaked out a good road win in Orlando. And these Dallas Mavericks, man, they continue to impress this season. And I think on the early season, what the Dallas they're 5-2, and I'm looking at the Rockets right now, 5-3. They won the last two after splitting the road trip. And to think of it, the Rockets and the Clippers both have the same record after 8 games in. And when you guys started, it was a disappointing. Every team out there, and who has the most wins and the best record in the NBA right now? The Los Angeles Lakers. After losing that first.
Oh, say that again. Let me do it like this here. Like they do. Hatter, look at that. What did they say, Hatter? Say that again.
The Lakers are 6-1 on the season, and I mean, what can you say? I mean, they lost the first one to the Clippers and reeled off 6 straight wins. Guess what? I mean, basically right now the Lakers are meeting expectations. You expected them to win most of the games that they won, and they're going to come down to one thing. Next time they play the Clippers, they have Kyle Kuzma back. What will they do next time they face the Clippers? And, of course, will Paul George be back? I don't know the date of when they played in. So that's now another thing. That was most of the NBA action. Now, today's games around the slate, there's only a few games today. And with Portland at the Clippers is probably the best game of significance tonight. And that is because remember, Portland just lost to Phoenix, I think, the other night. So Portland really needs to get back they need this game. Put it like that. In this game, Kawhi Leonard tonight will be playing, so all eyes will be on Kawhi in this game against Portland. We shift gears. We promised, and I want to continue to acknowledge from yesterday before we get into we'll talk NBA talk later on, but remember, a couple of more freshmen made their debut on the college ranks. And Chris, and that'll be something you said we'll get into this topic. You say you were watching and you were calculating some stats.
Oh, what's that on the screen there, Jim?
Hey, it's that time, baby. It's the time.
What is that on the screen? Are those real dollars? Is that Monopoly money?
Hey, boy, that boy has some hollers. Hey, Chris, he has some Ben Franklin's on there, Chris.
Hey, he never ran to first base that fast. Oh my goodness!
Hey, for the first time, don't.
Oh my goodness!
Don't share the show right now.
No, share the show for sure.
Don't share it right now.
Share the show for sure. Oh my!
Hey man, my bad. Chris told me to do that, Jimmy. You know I didn't want to do that. Yeah.
Oh man,
so,
that's funny.
Of course, last night, Calvin Solomon, former Klein Forest High School star, went to state this past season.
Yes.
In Houston, Klein Forest. He's at SFA along with teammate Kyrie McDaniel.
Right.
So Calvin Solomon, SFA played their first game last night. They picked up a win at home. And Solomon, how about this stat line? 18 minutes.
How many?
18 minutes.
Okay.
5 points. 8 rebounds, 4 assists.
Wow,
that's pretty good.
Jimmy, you know why I remember Calvin Solomon when he came on the Chop Shop that day. That kid had no offers.
Sure did. That's right.
He had no offers. And
that was earlier this year.
Yes, late in the year, he had no offers, and he was, he was upbeat, but he was kind of questioning, his future playing basketball. And guess what? It happened for him. What my young fella Kyrie had? What'd he do?
Kyrie played 1 minute and, of course, did not score in the same game. And so it just goes to show, like I said, we were talking about this topic, and if you're understanding, remember now, Kyrie McDaniel's a young man who had committed and actually signed with the Division II school out of Oklahoma 1 year ago. Then meanwhile, Klein Forest ended up kicking a bunch of butt during the regular season. And as they won, ended up advancing the state. Then the more they won, the more people paid attention to this kid, Kyrie McDaniel. And next thing you know, SFA came and offered Calvin Solomon. But while they were coming to see Calvin Solomon, they had to see Kyrie McDaniel by default. And they ended up taking a liking to him. And just watched his ways and how he carried himself, how he was a leader. And guess what? They ended up offering him. So then at that point, the father, had to go and battle and, to get a release from the Division II school because they weren't just willing to release him. So we had to get the paperwork. It took a little tug of war for a few weeks and finally let go, and he's dead. So now this young man could have been or would have been pretty much a guaranteed starter. Well, the ball would have been his to turn over as far as in the starting lineup at the D2 school, but he went and chose to go to D1 option and fight for a chance.
How you know the ball would have been in his hand at the D2? Them D2 schools can play too. See, it kills me because people just automatically think because you go D2. Man, it's hard for a freshman, man. A point guard, that's the hardest position to go. Chris, did you start? You didn't start your first game on campus, did you?
No, midway through the year.
It's hard, man. I know, Jimmy, I think you think this stuff easy because you've been around De'Aaron Fox and all them kind of guys. Man, that thing is hard, man. Even at D2.
But
go on, Chris.
I was going to say, but if the kid at Division II, that, as we always say, that's not the way they scripted it. I don't know what SFA told them when they recruited him, but there is no kid that's on a Division I roster that's thinking about putting his name in that portal that doesn't think that he can go start it in the Division II school right away. And if I'm the Division II school that's recruiting him, they got to have a sales pitch. You know what that sales pitch is? Ball's in your hand. It's got to be something, especially if they didn't want to release him. They had to have big plans for him if they didn't want to release him. So at the end of the day, the kid took a gamble on himself, and he got to work his way into the lineup.
Well, and that happened. Actually, at the D2 school, I remember some of these situations unraveled. They had a couple of kids that were opting to transfer out, and if I'm not mistaken, the kid Kyrie McDaniel was hoping one of the reasons that he committed to that program because he went there and visited, and what they had coming back the following year, which would have been this season, would have been something that could have competed for a national championship. So 2 or 3 of those guys, not one, but at least 2, were opting out of the program. And so that means that now, wait a minute, this ain't the same thing that I've committed to. This ain't what I signed up for. And so, and his father, Slim McDaniel's on the line right now on the Boom Boom Room, and he's coming.
He's gonna be all right. And that kid dad is just built different. He gonna be all right.
What the daddy say?
No, he said it was disagreement with him and the coach, and that's it. And so that's why I'm just making sure, clarifying if you're talking about the reason that they played 1 minute with the D1 coach or disagreement with the D2 coach. I just wanted to clarify on that point. But we understand something. I do know one thing, that when he signed with the D1 school, I do know that they knew that it was going to be, it wasn't the opportunities he would have to fight and earn every doggone minute. And he was in the scope of the big picture for the Division I. So everybody, my thing is, he did not go to this D1 school, the SFA, saying, oh, with the same pretense, the ball is in your hand, it's yours. You are free. They didn't tell him that. He wanted to go there. Listen, you come here, you want to fight.
Yeah.
You want to fight to earn minutes.
Right.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be guys that we're bringing. They have a JUCO guy, John Como, that helped lead Beaumont Ozan to the state tournament a couple of years ago. He went the JUCO route. This kid's Como, and you understand, he's 3 years older, three classes older.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that you have to face with when you go into situations. We think we automatically expect for 18, 19-year-olds to automatically get the favor over the 21, 22-year-olds.
No doubt. But Jimmy, I'll take it a step further. It's hard, man. You got to practice every day, man. It's hard. I don't care what they promise you on the onset when you get there.
That's right.
When you get there, those other dudes are like, yo, man, I'm trying to eat too. They all think they're going to the NBA, no matter what. I don't care what level you are coaching. You ask every last one of them who thinks they're going to the league. From 1 to 13, they all raising their hand. That's what you're dealing with. So whatever you promise them in the beginning, when they get there and they got to practice every day, go to school every day, it's very, very, very difficult. I want to pivot for a second. I was watching the scores from last night, and I don't know if TSU played last night. Man, I was looking at TSU's roster, and it harkens back to what we talked about maybe a month ago on the Chop Shop about kids leaving high major schools and going to the SWAC. Their roster, I wish I had it in front of me. I forgot I was going to talk about this. Johnny Walker, where did he go to school, Jimmy?
He went to Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. Oh my God, I got to pull that roster back up. I'm going to pull the roster up in a second. They got about 5 high major transfers.
Yeah.
And got the brakes beat off them the other night.
Yeah.
About 5 high major transfers.
San Diego State.
If I'm not beat the brakes off of them. They got Eden Ewing from Purdue.
He went to sign with Nevada at Purdue, and they have Eden Ewing. Both of those guys are in the starting lineup. So you have a Texas A&M and a Purdue.
Wait a minute. Texas A&M got beat by who?
Texas Southern.
Texas Southern got beat by who?
They got about 5 high majors, man.
35 points to San Diego State. And that was night before last. And keep going, Chris.
And what I'm saying is, people don't understand, man. I guarantee you, and they got a guy from UMass because Sharon Chapman was at UMass. He brought a big-time player from UMass. And I want to say it's a big from Mississippi and another kid.
That's Big Jethro, who played with Jazzy with the Urban DFW. Big Jethro went to Mississippi State.
How about that? So they got all those dudes, Hatter. If they think about this, Hatter, what I'm about to tell you. If all those dudes signed with TSU as freshmen, TSU would have thought like, oh, man, we about to make some crazy noise, man. We about to pull a Boston on these fools. That's how hard it is, man. Them dudes got a 30-piece put on them, man.
Wow.
Division I basketball is hard, bro.
It's hard.
I'm just telling you, man, it is not what people think. Like those parents, some of the parents I know intimately, that when their kids don't play, I say, what did you think you signed up for? They think it's summer basketball. See, when you play summer basketball on the sneaker circuit and you got that summer coach trailing you, sniffing your boo-boo, taking you everywhere, buying you a Popeye's chicken sandwich every time you open your mouth, and buying the parents a hotel room on the trip, they actually think that's the way it is when they get to college. Then when you get to college, all the rules change. They can't do nothing for you. And not only they can't do nothing for you, they also don't give you nothing. And when I say they don't give you nothing, they don't give you playing time. You actually have to earn something when you get to college. You actually have to earn it. I would dare I say in the NBA, if you make the most money, you don't have to earn playing time. They're going to play the guy that makes the most. In college, you got to earn it because the head coach's job is tied to winning, period. You made a great point when you talk about the Astros and A.J. Hinch. The GM is more powerful than him. Well, in the NBA, they're going to look at you like, yo, man, we playing that dude 40 minutes. You better put that dude on the floor, man. You better put that dude on the floor, man. In college, it don't work that way. They play the dude that's going to help them win. And that is determined by practice every day. And that's what I tell kids. They don't understand. If you don't have great practice habits, you won't survive in college. But back to my point about the 8 people. Remember the rotation? I looked at all the box scores. I said, let me test my theory. Even Mike up here in New York, Mike Anderson, y'all know he plays that fast pace pressing when they playing a bunch of people. He played 10 guys yesterday. Mm-hmm. They got the kid that played for the Hoops, Jimmy. I want to say Luke, Greg, what's Greg's last name? Oh my good. Kid that played for the Hoops from Louisiana. Oh man, Greg Lewis. I can't remember his last name. But anyway, he's even on the team. And he plays for St. John's. And I'm like, man, let me test my theory with a guy that plays 10, 11 people. He played 10 guys last night. And this is where it gets tricky. Because a guy like Hatter, if I say they only play 8, Hatter going to check me out. Chris, you wrong. They played 10. They played 11. They played 8. But guess what number 9, 10, and 11, guess what their minutes were? 2, 3, and 5. That's where it gets tricky. I look at all those rosters. I'm gonna pull it up in a second. Who played major? Oh my God, somebody played last night. They played Virginia. Yeah. They played 6 dudes, I want to say.
Really?
Man, Syracuse.
There's 13 dudes on the scholars. Syracuse.
Syracuse just scored with 34 points, man. I don't even want to hear about them.
But my point is, if it's 13 dudes on the scholarship, right, they only playing 8. 5 dudes that were all state, 5 dudes that were all region, 5 dudes that were leading scorers on a high school team in all district sitting on that bench watching the game. That's real talk right there.
Wow. And of course, some of the so we go to the Boom Boom Room, some of the comments, and of course, Mrs. Grace says, that's why I've always felt sneaker teams are the worst thing for these young men. It sends the wrong message.
No.
You got to put in the work, period.
That's because your son wasn't good. Who said that?
No. Katie, no. It's good. It's just it just don't work. One of Jimmy's favorite saying is all eggs don't hatch on the same day.
Some of them never hatch.
Some of them never hatch. This is Keiko. I'm just telling y'all. It's I've seen all of them. I've experienced one. You got to think about it. I had a son, Jimmy. I'm on the other. I'm on the good side because I was blessed enough to have a son that went to school, and guess what? The first day he stepped on campus, he started until he left.
And you see, you didn't have to worry about that.
I didn't have to worry about that. I mean, he was talking about something. They were joking, and somebody was, Jimmy was on the show one day, and we were talking about people being mad about your experience in college. Robert called me and said, man, I had a great experience in college. I played 31 minutes a game throughout my career. He said, I had a great experience. But guess what? If he had to play 31, somebody didn't get no minutes. Chris?
Hey, man, I say it all the time, man. It is what it is, man. Everybody's not playing. You gotta understand that, man. You gotta understand, like, people I tell you, I have recruited for 20 years. And I admit, Jimmy and Hatter, I've been guilty of telling kids what they want to hear. But as I got older as a coach, I realized you got to tell these kids the truth, because whatever you say, they're going to hang on every single word, even if they don't do their part. Even if they don't do their part, even if they don't go to school, even if they don't act right, even if they don't treat girls the right way, even if they don't practice hard, they're going to say, but you told me I was going to play 15 minutes. Dude, that dude killing you every day in practice, man. So you just want me to put you out there? They don't understand it, man. I'm telling you. All they care is, Jimmy, that they get what they want. Am I right? Am I lying or not, Jimmy?
I mean,
that's all they care about.
I mean, that's the transparent. And going back to the comment that was made earlier by Mrs. Grace and saying that blaming AAU for as one of the things that was responsible for this. Well, think about this. I think one of the things you look at in AAU is the falsification of expectations that are many of the grown people during their recruiting efforts, right, of these kids. If you're telling these kids listen, you come play with us, we're going to get you D1. You're going to get D1 playing with us. Look at, and so that means now a kid is under the impression that they just put on your uniform, they're going D1. We're going to travel here, we're going to go here, we're going, yeah, true. But you're making it seem as though that there's some kids out there, trust me, they can go and play in Coach K's backyard every damn day. It wouldn't make a difference. He's still not going to offer them a scholarship. And people know. And so there's the thing. That's where I think it's wrong at. And it goes in hand with a culture that starts with a lot of kids. I understand you want to let kids be kids. I understand you don't want to be a dream killer. I really do understand that. But at some point in time,
at what point, Jimmy, at what point, think about this, you rank kids, right? Yeah. So I was a summer coach. Now I would pick the kids on my team. And if I thought they weren't good enough, I would cut them. Because I was like, look, man, I don't coach, if you can't play, you got to go.
Yeah, I got to pick somebody else. Care about 8 people yourself.
Because I knew that if they played, they were going to be happy. And I staggered my classes. So even if I played another dude more, he knew he was the dude the next year. Right. So I didn't believe in, 15 and under and 16 and under. I say either you're a 17 and under dude or you're not. And that was the way I did it. Because if I thought if you played varsity basketball, you play 17s. So that was my thing. Hey. That's how I did it. And if you weren't a Division I player, I wasn't interested in coaching you. That you can say that's mean or whatever, but I chose my team. So at what point, Jimmy, do you tell a kid that, you know what, man, this ain't working for you? Because Hatter said I'm the devil. Hatter said people hate me because if you're 6 foot and under, I'm chopping your neck off. Like,
no,
man,
she said you're so mean. She said,
go play shortstop. Because I want kids to get free education. I want kids to get cost-free education. Okay. So if there's a chance to pivot, Jimmy, when do you tell them to pivot? If they top 200 in the RCS rankings, when do you tell them to pivot?
Well, I think you tell them to pivot when it's coming time for after that last summer. Because if you're all in for giving a kid a chance, or going into that last summer, depending on what type of team and what's the expectations of your team. If your team is a bona fide funded travel team, then you have to go and let go of that space, not a spaceship, let go of the shuttle at some point in time. Yeah. You have to go and let it go. Okay. And I remember a few years back when there was a guy named Steve Trauber, right? And he had a team. Yeah. They won a national championship in AAU. Like they won it twice or went back to back. I know they won it one year. And this was a team that Justice Winslow played on back in like the 8th grade and on in. So when this team got to a certain point in high school, they made a merger with the Houston Hoops. Mm-hmm. Now, this team was going into these kids were rising seniors at the time. They were going into their last summer.
No, not when they merged, Jimmy.
It was 2 years ago. They merged 2 years ago, Jimmy.
10th grade. 10th grade year. That's right. 10th grade year. Yeah. 10th grade year, they were going into it. So here's what happened. I remember it vividly. That was a young man that was a point guard on that team. His name was, I want to say, last name was Etienne.
Yeah, Bryson. No. Bryson Etienne?
His cousin, not the one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not the one at TSU.
Okay. The North Shore.
Yeah. Okay. And he turned out being a rapper. He can rap.
That's what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
He was a star point guard. He was ranked in the top 20 in the area. But this team had reached a point where they had to go now, instead of just being the regular travel team, they now were going to the sneaker circuit. And when they merged, you had to let some baggage go, or you keep stringing them along. Now, this guy Trauber, he was fortunate enough financially where he made a pledge to the kids. He had a meeting with some of the parents, and he let them know, we're not going to be able to continue having you as a part of the program. However, I'm making a pledge. If your son goes to college, I will fund the gap of whatever financial aid he cannot get. I will pay for his college 100%. This is what the deal he made with the kids. If they go to college, no, you got to go in. It's kind of like supplemental insurance. Whatever your primary can't figure out, we'll fill the gap. So this is what we did. Now, this young man did not even play that summer because no other team needed a point guard. He sat the whole summer out. got no Division I offers, and it ended up, next thing you know, like Haddle says, he ended up being a DJ, being a rapper.
I remember, Jimmy. I remember that's the year that we came over. That's the year that Robert came and played with Justice now. That year.
2015.
Yeah. And I remember people was saying they didn't bring the other point guard. They went out and got another. They had to get better for the 17, and they had to upgrade for the 17. Like Chris Walker just said, you had to upgrade on the 17. There were some grown men.
Like Aaron Fox says, when you come and try out for Team Fox, I tell the parents, this is not a participation team. Guys, man, this is what people don't understand, guys. Summer basketball is business. People are trying to get a cost-free education.
That's business.
And I'm going to make another point that people don't understand, and I tell it to my parents every single time. Mm-hmm. It is not about the team's success. Teams, college coaches don't come to watch the team. If you have a bunch of players, that may be more convenient for them. They're coming to watch the player, not the team.
Marvin Bagley.
Y'all understand that? Y'all need to understand. All y'all little boo-boo teams out there, put these little teams together and saying that, we better than the hoops and we're better than the defenders and we beat them and all that. This is not high school. This is college basketball recruiting. They don't care. I'm giving you a piece of advice. If you got a son that's good enough to go play on these sneaker circuits and you want him to play high major basketball, if you really think he's good enough, put him on a sneaker team and see. Yeah, the one kid, what's the kid that's going to Seton Hall?
Jahari Long.
So now I don't know this kid at all. I know somebody on this feed, Robert Habit, tearing his head off saying he don't know if he's good enough to go to Seton Hall.
Who said that?
Somebody on this feed named Robert Habit.
Came out of my mouth. Jimmy, I would have told. Wait a minute, I would have told Jimmy that. But you's a hater. But come on, everybody know you're a hater.
I'm just saying that at the end of the day,
you saying that because you told me that kids. I played in the Big East. He can't play in the Big East. Now,
no. I've never seen the kid play, so I didn't say that. That's not true. I've never seen him play.
Okay.
So I didn't say that. All I said was, wow, that's an interesting commitment. You know, and Tony, the guy that recruited him, worked at La Tech, so he's been in Texas. There is a connection there. There is some connection there. I'm just saying kids from Texas generally don't go that far to school.
What, D'Angelo Harrison went to New Jersey?
He did. No, he's not going to Jersey. He went to St. John's. Terrell cut that deal. And then Jamal Branch. And listen, Jamal Branch went behind him. Jimmy, remember Jamal Branch?
Hey, Jimmy. And D'Angelo Harrison wound up being the leading scorer in St. John's history from Houston, Texas. Okay.
Over Chris Mullin.
Over Chris Mullin and Malik Sealy. So now
where's he playing now?
He's playing overseas.
He got a Rosetta Stone? Oh, my bad.
Yeah, he got a Rosetta. Hey, yeah. He playing in the A-League though.
I'm cool with that. Now I'm just playing with that because the league is hard, so I'm not tripping off that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Let's go to the boom boom room, man. There's a lot of comments. Of course, Aaron Fox is on the line. Aaron Fox chimed in. Shout out to Aaron Fox, and that's the father of De'Aaron Fox. He says, "When you come try for,"
Chris said all right. That's what Chris was talking about.
Okay,
but guess who's on the Facebook feed right now, Chris? So you better quit all your lying. Because Alan Branch is on here. He know where all your skeletons buried at.
I taught Alan Branch the game.
And he done took your game and took it to another level. He done took your game and put it on steroids. Alan Branch said the kid is good enough.
Let me tell you something. Tell Alan Branch, I don't want to hear one more Jimmy Butler story. Tell me all the ones that he got wrong. I don't want to hear about the ones he got right. Because if he go up there and don't play, he got to come on the chop shop. Let
me explain you something about Alan Branch. For franchise all-stars, almost all of them. I don't think there's nobody on the franchise all-stars got it wrong. They all went to college. And Jimmy, I ain't talking about going and doing extracurricular stuff. I'm talking about basketball. They got it right.
What do you mean got it right?
What do you mean got it right? Name all the guys.
The place that
Name
they
the guys.
played. Everybody went. Winston
No.
went and played.
No, they didn't.
John
Hold
Hinston,
on.
Kelly went and played.
John
Peter,
Hinston,
PB
okay.
went and played. Jonathan
Who?
went and played. Everybody on that team, everybody.
You just named 3 dudes.
Eric Martin went and played. Robert Allen went to play. John Hinston, a pro. Ray Turner went and played. He overseas. Should I keep going?
Please keep going. You said everybody. I'm gonna do.
I
you
don't
like you
know
do me.
nobody who didn't go to college on that team.
You said and played a lot. That's what I'm just saying.
And play. I just don't know nobody. I don't know nobody. Xavier Robertson. He played. I can keep going. Just name me a franchise all-star.
Listen, y'all had the best team.
No.
Combined.
I'm talking about the 2 years I was there. Hold on. Jimmy, hold on. I'm talking about the 2 years I was there.
DJ Griggs averaged 7 minutes a game at Long Island.
He played on the NCAA tournament team.
He played. No. He played, Jimmy. He played in the beginning. He played. At
the beginning, the first year was 12 minutes a game.
Okay.
Second year, as a sophomore, it was 7 minutes.
Stop right there. Stop right. Chris Walker, yesterday on this show, what he said at benchmark was
double digits.
The benchmark is 10.
So I rest my case. Thank you for bringing that up.
Howder, you add 12 and 7, that's 19. Divided by 2,
but
that's
I'm
9
just
and
talking
10.
about it ain't. All I'm telling you, he went as a freshman, the hardest year in the world, and played 7 minutes on your ass around there. Huh?
Franchise had a good program. They had some players. I mean, I'll admit they had some players. They was Chris Walker Academy #2. I agree with you. Y'all had a bunch of players. Y'all took my strategy and y'all did a great job. Tremendous.
Winston Shepard, a pro. Rasheed Suleiman, a pro. I mean,
whoa, how long y'all have Rasheed for? Like 30 seconds?
No, I had him a whole year.
A couple Folgers, a Starbucks.
Excuse me.
How long y'all had him for?
Okay. Let's go here, Chris.
I'm joking.
No. One of the reasons, ladies and gentlemen, I started the franchise all-star. I mean, with Coach Henderson and Coach Branch, because we got tired of kids that we didn't want people have to go kiss the Houston Hoops behind. Okay, Rasheed Suleiman didn't nobody want him.
That's true.
Nobody wanted him. He came from. They had him on the bench at the Nationals, picking them the guys out there in Katy, and the daddy called me and said they had your boy on the bench. I said he ain't gonna be on the bench no more. Bring him back. We started the franchise all-stars. He blew up one summer, and then guess what? He left and went to the Houston Hoops, which was okay because he wound up going to Duke. He wound up going to the league. He wound up playing overseas. So, to reiterate what I said, I can go down that roster.
No, y'all got a squad. Did Warner Bell play for that team too?
Warner Bell, Michael Carey. Jimmy, I don't even want. I didn't even mean to go there, but all of those guys.
But it was a good program.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure that was a good.
And then Alan Branch took that bag, and then when it fell apart, Jimmy.
Hey man, y'all gonna lay off my homeboy, cause I tell y'all, I tell this story.
That bag and it was over.
And Jimmy, we might have some.
Let me ask you a question, Hatter. Let me ask you a question. Hold on.
No, okay.
Rasheed Suleiman left your team because we deal with this all the time. Now.
Yeah.
I dealt with it when I started my program. Jimmy gave me some wise advice, and I started with T-Mac All-Stars.
Yeah.
You want to beat the hoops, you got to do this because the hoops have been the common denominator in the city of Houston, period. Yeah. You have every city that's had 3 or 4 sneaker teams in the same city, never Houston until John Lucas. I mean, Marlon Lowe had it for a second. Now John Lucas got a team. Do you think Rasheed Suleiman would have the same impact had he stayed with franchise? And I already know what you're going to say. If he had never left. Would he still have been? He was a McDonald's, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was gonna be. He was headed that way. Like I said, the Houston Hoops and bless they little heart. I like them now, but I didn't understand what the Houston Hoops was doing. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Me as a parent in 2008, I didn't understand the EYBL. I'm going to just tell y'all, parents, I didn't understand. I had to learn that the EYBL, Nike did, I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to say this slowly. Nike did not pay all this money for these 40 teams for Lil Johnny to play on their team. My son just got lucky because he was a Lil Johnny. But Nike did not, because I used to wonder why when Robert was playing well, the Houston won. When they took him out the game, the Houston didn't play that good. Because he had McDonald All-Americans playing in front of him, just wasn't playing well. They wasn't good for winning a game. But guess what? That's who Nike wanted to see. Their McDonald All-Americans on the floor. I didn't know that. I didn't know that as a parent. Right? I didn't know that.
So you were frustrated then?
I was frustrated, and I told my son, man, let's go, man. I'm not coming way up here. I'm in at Boo Williams. You know what he told me? Man, you can go home. I'm going to play.
Wow, hold on. So think about what you just said there.
Yeah.
And Jimmy, I know Jimmy can color this better than anybody. You told your son, man, I'm not doing that. And he tasted the fruit, right, Jimmy?
Yes.
He tasted the EYBL fruit.
Yes.
And he says, I'd rather sit on the bench, Dad, than go home and play all the minutes.
No. He didn't say that. He said,
I know. I'm just saying. I know.
No, he told me. He said, at some point, they got to play me. He said, I'm playing too good for them not to play me. That's how he thought. He said, and I didn't see it. I was ready to go, but you know I wasn't gonna leave my son up there by himself, so I stayed the whole trip, and it wound up working for him. But why on this Facebook feed right now? I got to have a shout out to Alan Branch, because without Alan Branch, my son's Ivy League dreams, we worked that thing. We was in the 6th grade, him and I asked Alan Branch, man, what can I do? I want my son to play for Harvard. I want my son to go to Harvard. In the 6th grade, we had that plan, and Alan Branch helped me sift through all the rhetoric. He the one got Coach Bill Courtney and Marlon Sears to come down here all of those times to recruit my son. And I have to, sometimes we don't give these people enough credit. So when Chris make those jokes about however big a bag Alan Branch received,
how big was that bag?
Hey, he said, guess what?
How big was that?
Hey, guess what? He deserved more. He was underpaid.
Guys, let me say this.
Yeah.
I'll give every parent a piece of advice, and I'll let Jimmy take over after this. If your son is really, really, really good, I'm gonna give him a piece of advice. Mm-hmm. You got how many schools in the Ivy League, Hatter?
8.
You got Brown and Dartmouth and Princeton and Columbia. Like Brown is all the way in Rhode Island.
Yes.
Do you realize their kids, they don't recruit Texas?
Yeah,
do you understand that?
They don't.
That if your kid, they would love to have a kid that has grades from the state of Texas.
Yes.
We got more talent. But you know what these kids do? They go to Wright State. They go to Montana. I'm like, bro, do you realize you can get a scholarship to Brown?
Yeah.
If you're going to Montana, you're probably not a pro. If you're going, I don't want to chop up your schools with Travis and Furious at Montana. Right. But if you're going to Boo Boo State, you're probably not going to the NBA. So why wouldn't you take a scholarship? Or not a scholarship, it's based on financial aid, but it's almost the same. Why wouldn't you go to Princeton?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Alan Branch tells me a story.
Okay.
That when he was a kid, Alan Branch went to play football at Texas. Uh-huh. He was about as good as Jimmy was in baseball. Don't let him tell the stories, because when he rides you around telling stories, he make you think that he was Earl Campbell, but he was Earl Shamble. But the bottom line is, somebody wanted him to go to Princeton, and you know what he told me? And this is true about us. Yeah. He said, and Hatter makes his point. My sphere of influence told me, man, don't go over there. What are you doing going there? Mm-hmm. He didn't understand the value of it. Mm-hmm. Hatter understood the value of a Cornell degree. Yeah. We got parents that don't understand the value of a Dartmouth degree. Man, Dartmouth, what is that?
Yeah.
Dude, do you understand? If you go to Dartmouth, do you understand the people that have gone to Yale?
Yes.
They don't understand.
Yes.
They don't. So they, you know what they do? They go to Nickel State. No disrespect to my man Clunch. They go to Nickel State instead of going to Brown. And I'm sitting there going like, what are you doing? We don't get it.
We don't, Chris.
We don't get it.
And Chris, and just to reiterate, to help people remember them easy, because I didn't even know. I mean, you know, I know now, but the Ivy League, because people are always calling schools Ivy League. It's not but 8 of them. It's the old ancient league. It's 150 years old. You remember the 2 C's, Columbia and Cornell, the 2 P's, Princeton and Penn, and then you got Dartmouth, Yale, Brown, and Harvard. That's how you remember them. You know, the 2 C's, the 2 P's, and those other 4 schools. So those are the only 4 schools that are in the Ivy League. And Alan Branch, thank you a million days. And I still got a relationship. Those coaches that I met at Cornell, we still have a relationship to this day. And one of the most valuable relationships and resources that I have. So,
yeah, man. I mean, it's good. I mean, we can go to the Boom Boom Room right now and share some of the combos. I mean, there's great dialogue going on. And I mean, on the topic, understand a lot of people that have influence over the kids are not aware. So, if the person that's influencing you is not aware, then where do you expect them to get it from? And that's the point. So that means we know some of the people to go and teach this to. It's like I was telling, let's say, for example, and I've said this years ago, you heard me 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I said that if Chris Walker, let's say, for example, and an Alan Branch of sorts, and there's somebody that resembles or that possesses their knowledge on the academic underground of getting kids qualified. Let's say if they went and started up workshops. I'm not saying it had to be free.
Right.
But workshops, and encourage, since you deal with the summer coaches anyway, to help raise the consciousness of those people that are in position of power or position of influence, the trainers. If they see, because the trainer's going to say this, that's not my job. My job, I'm getting paid to develop him in his basketball talent or his football talent or volleyball talent, whatever the case the sport may be. So if that's what they're getting paid for, they're saying, hey, man, I'm not getting paid for all that. But then the summer coaches say, well, you know, my job is to put them on the platform and get them this. You know, my job isn't what the high school coach doing. Then the blame game goes all around the horn. Then finally people say, well, hell, we doing? I'm doing what the parent doing. And the parent working a double job, working single parent.
That's not an excuse, man. That's not good enough.
What I'm saying though, but if you have the knowledge, think about this. If you have the knowledge and you know how to screw the light bulb in, and you're looking around the room and you see guys sitting in the dark because they don't know how to properly screw in a light bulb, then why not tell everybody at one while, look, guys, I'm coming through. I'm going to show y'all how you can screw in this light bulb.
Jimmy, that's too much like right, Jimmy. Jimmy, how long have you've been doing this? How much insanity have you seen in the years that you've done RCS for us? You try to give them the truth. It is freezing outside. You invented fire and they rather freeze to death. They don't care. All they care about is their own interest, and they don't educate themselves. We can have all the panels in the world. Think about it. Election Tuesday. You don't have to raise your hand. How many people on the Facebook feed didn't even vote? I'm just telling you, man, that's what we're dealing with. We got some lazy people out there, man. And we're lazy with our children, and we're lazy with our decisions, and we sit around, and you know what we are? We're professional complainers. We have perfected it. And my thing is, you got kids, when you know that your kid's got a chance to be a good player, as a parent, it's your responsibility. Stop relying on the coach. Stop relying on the counselor. Stop relying on the AAU coach. guess what? You have a chance to get cost-free education. When your son gets to the 9th grade, you got to know, don't let counselors pick your classes for you. I mean, I'm telling you, I can write a speech and write a book on how to get a kid a scholarship if he's got any type of talent. There are so many ways to get a scholarship. But the problem is we only want one thing. Everybody want to be Kobe. And guess what, Hatter? How many Kobe's own a franchise? Please tell these people.
One.
Hey, thank you. How many baseball players own a major league franchise?
Zero.
Exactly.
No, one. Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter. But he's part of a group. But I mean, he ain't no billionaire like these dudes that are the Steve Ballmers of the world.
No.
So, he's not.
No.
So what I'm saying is the people that are driving the Capitol aren't the guys that are out there playing, and all we're doing is chasing the ball.
Yeah.
I don't get it. You're capable. That person came out of the womb just like your son came out of the womb. Just because he can run and jump faster than that dude doesn't mean the same things don't apply. It makes no sense to me. We're held captive by our athletic abilities. And we think that our brain can't work because our feet and our hands can. I'm telling you, you have to be in the business for 20 years to understand the insanity of what these parents tell you. And you're like, do you understand that you go to one of the best schools in the world and you want to leave because you think your son a pro, and then he going to leave here and he not going to play, and all you're going to do is kick yourself on the head the rest of your life. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to blame everybody around you. And at the only person that you should be blaming is yourself. As Jimmy said, the retraction is always printed on the back page. You'll never hear them, Hatter. They'll never tell you the truth to your face. And that's what's going on. It's hypocrisy, man.
Yeah, I mean, and we go back to the Boomer. I'll go back to the Boomer room and check and share some of your comments. And Alan Brand says, we've been talking about this for 10 years. Yeah. And he says, but nobody wants to hear it.
But Jimmy, faith comes by hearing and hearing the word of God. You got to, just because we've been talking, we got to keep talking. You got to keep talking. You don't get it right the first time. You don't go, just think about, y'all just said something a minute ago. It's some people was telling me, man, you can come down here, you sending your son to Cornell. You know what? A partner of mine said, man, you should have ran as far as you could from that dude in case lightning striking. Some people don't know the value, and we keep thinking they do. It's like I was telling y'all, it's a lot of stuff that I don't know about this college basketball. Chris, you were talking some stuff about getting kids eligible, and Chris, you were speaking Greek to me. I couldn't even write my notes down fast enough. I got to go back and look at the show again because guess what? I never had those problems because I knew my son was going to be a great student and he was going to be a great athlete.
Can I ask you a question, Hatter?
Yeah.
If you were going to go buy a house, would you find out every single situation, whether the house got this, whether it's got mold, what's your interest rate? You're going to do all the research in the world. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
The most precious possession in the world is your child.
Yes.
And you just gonna hand it off to somebody. You just gonna hand your responsibility off.
But when you don't, he's an overbearing dad. He's overbearing.
Listen,
no, Chris. Chris, there's a guy.
Okay, go on.
There's a guy came and told me, prominent guy in y'all community, said, "Hey man, you need me to help you with your recruiting." I said, "No, boss, we got it over here, boss." Because everybody gonna inject their conversations in the. Dude, I had a plan, y'all, and Chris, I'm gonna let you make your comment. I had a plan. We got a guy on this show, on this Facebook feed, can tell you the plan in the 6th grade what I had for my son.
No doubt. And here's my thing.
Yeah.
If your son is a top 25 player, I'm not telling you to go to school for the academic prowess. I'm saying, look, dude, you guess what? You blessed. And I tell
top
people
25, top 25 it'd probably been a different story.
That's what I'm saying. I said, look, man, let me tell y'all something, man. God play favorites sometimes, man.
Right.
It's called favor. Favorites is called favor. That's the root word, favor. That means he touched. Right. Beyonce had favor.
Yes.
Some dudes got favor. Justice Winslow, favor. His daddy was one of the best players ever to play in the city of Houston. Pumped him out. Favor.
De'Aaron Fox, favor.
Favor. Like you can't teach what that dude. I know Aaron Fox probably thought he taught him everything. You can't teach what De'Aaron got, man.
That's right.
That came from the good Lord, man.
That's right. Great point.
I'm telling y'all that came from the good Lord. So what you guys are trying to recreate is what the good Lord made. It just gave somebody. And y'all think y'all can just create it. You know what I just said? Ooh. Y'all think y'all can recreate what God just gave to somebody.
Chris, you know what I think about? And I want you to piggyback on this one, and you can do Jim. I think about Michael Jordan and his brother Larry. Larry was the better player, but Larry was 5'9", 5'10". Michael Jordan wasn't as good, but he was 6'6". Then I go look at that's God. Then I go look at Blake Griffin. Him and his brother did all the same drills, went all the same workouts, went all the same everything. But Blake wound up being a max player. You don't even hear about. I don't even know the other brother's name. You follow me, Chris?
Favorites, man. I'm telling you. Favor, man. So what I'm saying is, my only point to parents is listen to me. You got to be realistic. I'm not in the business of telling parents what they can and what they can't do. Okay. You know what I'm in the business of? I said, look, man, this is what I know. I know that the socioeconomic situation in our neighborhoods and Black people in general, we can increase that wealth tenfold if we get education. That's what I do know, because once you learn, think about it, all the richest people now I shouldn't say all the richest people, I don't want to say all the rich people, but most of the people of high net value in this country send their kids to those 8 schools, right or wrong.
Wow.
Now, think what I'm about to tell you. Wow. They all send their kids to those 8 schools.
Wow.
If they're sending their kids to those 8 schools, and I'm telling you that if you play basketball, you can get to one of those schools, because those schools don't usually get players like you. And if you get a degree in 4 years from that school, what it would mean to your life, if I had a crystal ball, everybody would do it. But we too busy watching TNT. We too busy watching the EYBL. We too busy chasing sneaker contracts, and we don't understand the value of a high-level education. Jimmy, I can preach about it all day. I've seen it too many times. I wish, see, that's why I said, Jimmy, we got to bring kids on the show that thought they had the key to the Da Vinci Code. They thought they can beat Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? All them dudes that thought they can beat Floyd Mayweather, when it's over, they were like, dang, he really good. Yeah, man. All them dudes that thought they can out-talk those college coaches. All them dudes that thought, I had a parent tell me, I'll never forget this. I can't say who it is because he may be watched on the Facebook feed. And it wasn't the parent that told me. I said, hey, man, why would you send your kid to that school? He said, and he's not playing. You know, the dude told me, not the parent. The dude that was friends of the parent, man, they just not playing him because they don't want him to be one and done. I said, dude, Jimmy, I'm telling you.
Ain't nobody told you that, man.
On my mom, on Cat that Jimmy's life, that dude said, man, they just hating on him and they don't want him to be one and done. I said, but if he going to be one and done, you know that leads to the coach winning, the team winning, and him getting more money. So you think he trying to make less money? You think he care more about your money or that kid? He care more about his money. And if he thought that kid can make him more money, he gonna put him out there. Why would you think he would not play? I'm just telling you the insanity of what you're dealing with, man. They don't want to listen. 20 years, man. 20 years. They don't want to listen.
Man, you know, that's the whole thing. We know this. See, here's the thing. We know that this came from a person of influence, which the scenario that you just described. So my thing is, as a solutionary phase, you know, at some point in time, you get enough energy to start swinging back and start fighting the good fight again. And at some point, the good fight, in the process of fighting the good fight, it can somewhat knock you on the bust your lip. It can blacken your eye. It can bloody your nose. It can crack a few ribs in the mental capacity. So what I'm saying now is, and for those that may not know, yes, I did conduct workshops with similar purpose in mind back 15 years ago. And those workshops, once again, they were always attended by a lot of the head coaches from various colleges. Each year would fly in and they would speak on different topics in an effort to help educate the people, because sometimes the music sounds better coming from a different set of speakers. And I understand that. So that means people don't want to hear me talking all day or hearing Chris talking all day. So if I give them a little piece of this coach, let's say a Willis Wilson at the time was a coach at Rice. Right. Everybody who knows Willis Wilson, he's one of the most acute and keen coaches out there when it comes to the academic proportionary sectors of recruiting. So guess what? I let Willis Wilson talk about academics, not from a Rice standpoint, just about understanding different things. And there's different people come through and talked about different stuff. Buzz Williams came one year and he talked about recruiting.
Buzz is really good. Buzz is really good.
You know, and awesome. George Raveling came down. I mean, so, and after about 6 or 7 years of doing this, the population, the attendance for those free workshops, that was no catch. That you didn't have to fly no email address. We didn't get your information. You came straight, and we actually fed, and one or two of them, we actually fed the people that came. So after a while, the attendance dip was below 100.
Yeah, that's
in
terrible.
a city like Greater Houston.
Yeah, that's terrible. I used to come to him, Jimmy. I know. I used to come. I was like, man, what is going on with these people? And Jimmy, I'm gonna say this. Think about this. Again, this is no disrespect, guys. You got to realize, a dude who reaches and graduates magna cum laude at TSU, he's probably gonna be a successful person. I'm not saying that kids go to TSU can't be successful, because people are successful, they got some other stuff in them too besides being smart. There's a lot of smart fools out there. Would you agree or disagree, Hatter? A lot of dudes with degrees that are walking around serving people at the steakhouse, right? So my point is, that little school that's in West University, okay? Y'all know which one I'm talking about. That everybody thinks, man, that's where the dumb people, that's where the smart people go. That's where the nerds go. If you got a degree from Rice University, do you know what your life would be like in the city of Houston?
Wow.
Do people understand? No disrespect to Houston.
I just gave.
If you went to Rice, the Harvard of the South, there are two Harvards of the South. There is Vanderbilt and there is Rice. If you went to Rice, do you know what you're like? You know what I would ask everybody on the Facebook feed? And they may say, Chris, you crazy. I'd like to know, how many black Rice graduates do you know? How many black people you know graduated from Rice?
I just know 2. 3. I just know 3.
I'm telling you.
And you know what's so unique about what you said? And you keep, remember, you just said, do you know the value of a Rice degree in this city?
Oh, my God.
A 25-year-old Rice graduate is the general manager of the Rio Grande Vipers, the Rockets G League affiliate. I'm going to repeat that because that's going to go all over everybody's head. A 25-year-old graduate of Rice University, not even from Houston, graduated from Rice. He is the general manager of the Rockets D League affiliate right now. How about that?
I mean, the relationships and
Chris just said
plays a part, and that's the favor. That's where the favor comes in for a lot of people, and that's when it goes. A lot of people, you have to realize, man, a lot of people don't want to know.
I'm telling you, they don't want to know.
And
they don't want to know what.
They want to be. They don't, because they got to be held accountable once they know, Hatter.
Yes.
In the wilderness, Hatter. When Moses took him in the wilderness, he took him out of slavery, Hatter.
You telling me on this boom boom room right now, it's some people on this feed don't want to know. Maybe not the people on the big boom boom room. Maybe they're friends. Cause I can't fathom not these brilliant people that I'm looking at and seeing on this feed. They don't want. So we need them to spread this news. Cause I know they know.
But Hatter, if we're gonna say that, how about this? And I'm not saying that I'm pining for people to go to Rice and with my man over James Harden's high school coach over there right now. Rice has not been to the NCAA tournament, I don't think, in the history of the school. Think about what I'm about to tell you. Imagine if there was a movement where every kid said, you know what? I want to be the vice president of Marathon All or the president of Marathon All. I want to be the president of whatever these companies are in Houston. And Rice says, you know what? If we can get a Fab Five to go to Rice, what would it be like? And you know what that's called, Hatter? You know what that Fab Five at Rice would be called? It's called Duke. Y'all got to understand that. It's called Duke University. A Fab Five going to Rice is called Duke. It's the same thing. Period. When you, after those 4 years, that basketball career don't help you no more. I'm just telling you, it's your network and that degree. People don't understand that. You got good grades and you're saying, man, I'd rather go to school at Pepperdine than go to Rice. Why would you do that? Why would you go to the University of San Francisco instead of Rice? Why would you go to La Tech? I mean, hey, that's my boy, Eric Conker, my dude. But La Tech? You would go to Louisiana Tech, Jimmy, over Rice University? See, I'm on the other side now. I can say what I want.
It depends on what your purpose is. If you're primary, everybody has a primary and a secondary, and not many people that are student athletes. The academic component.
I said if they did, Jimmy. I said if they had the grades. There's smart kids that go to some of these schools too. And I'm telling you, now as a college coach, those guys are at those schools. Man, you don't want to go there. They'll never win. See, that's the problem. Because then I'll be like, well, how many guys at Louisiana Tech in the NBA? How many guys? Y'all, how many conference championships y'all won? How many guys at Texas State in the NBA? How many guys? I'm just saying. Not to chop guys up, but how many guys at Northwestern State, that's Division I, are in the NBA? You got great grades, and Rice is recruiting you, and you're gonna go to Lafayette. I mean, you're gonna go to University of Louisiana Lafayette. Come on, man, dude. I'm telling you right now, if those guys that were coaching those schools were at Rice, they'd be saying the same thing I'm saying. It's because they're recruiting against Rice. And think about what they're saying, son. It ain't cool to be a smart kid. Come here. Man, I'm telling y'all, man, people just don't understand. That's how we missing out on stuff. Because they giving it to us free. If you come.
I got a question. I got a question for you and Jimmy. Because I keep seeing people talking about Rice not recruiting. Rice not recruiting on the Facebook. Rice acts like they're the Duke when it comes to recruiting. Don't they have a basketball team?
Yes, they do.
So they are recruiting.
Man, let me tell you something. Rice knows that these kids, you know what? As much as I'm saying what I'm saying, they know those kids aren't going to come there. They know those kids. Why do you think the coach at VCU now, excuse me, I forget his name, he never recruited kids from Houston. He tried, but his better players came from outside because he knew kids wouldn't come. It's a history of kids not coming. And I'm saying to myself, hold on. So it's not cool to be smart? Like, it's not cool to be smart. Now, again, I didn't go to Rice. I went to Villanova, but Rice was one of my visits when I came, because I was like, you know what? Let me see what it's all about. I just had a chance to go play in the Big East, and it was different back then. But what I'm saying now, if kids thought about it, you don't have to go to Harvard. You don't have to go to Columbia. You got one right there in West University.
They never recruited us, Chris.
I get it.
Not one Rice coach in that era never came to one West Side game at all. And guess what? We would have entertained it.
Dude, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm not. Marcus Sloan said I'm giving them a pass. Hey, Sloan, you know what I want you to do? Tell me the last time you took some kids over to Rice. Not the ones that you think they should have. I want you to take the best players, pack up your Range Rover, and throw some dudes in the car and take them to a Rice game. When the last time you did that? Well, you might say he's done it, but I'm just saying, like, have you done that? Because you understand the value. Forget about what Rice is doing. You know the value.
There you go. There you go.
That's the
there
point.
You go.
That's what I just replied
Bingo.
in the room, and that is I mentioned earlier while you were talking that the head coach at Rice was the former head coach, a high school coach for James Harden, right? And ended up going to Arizona State where James Harden played at. And James Harden now has a summer program called Team Harden. And Team Harden has been in existence for about 3 summers. And to this date, there's not a single kid from Team Harden that was funneled to Rice. Now I think Marcus Sloan mentioned, well, because Rice don't recruit them. Well, still, that's not the issue. Like what we just said, you guys just hit on just a while ago. You know the value of the relationship. Your best player, you got to throw your coach a bone, because guess what's about to happen to the head coach of the staff if they keep not producing and not landing players from the area? You're going to get Ginsu. And then after you get Ginsu, you know what happens then? You start playing the blame game. Well, they wouldn't let us in. They wouldn't let us get no kids. They would. Wait a minute. First of all, if Team Harden is not giving you any kids, then why would you expect the Houston Hoops to give you some?
Maybe they don't want none of Team Harden's kids.
Huh?
Maybe they don't want none of kids.
No. Understand this. That's up to them to turn it down. You follow me? It's up to Rice to turn it down.
You got to have a certain academic requirement to get it right.
No, they can get one in. They get one in.
How about this? Let's say they all got grades, Hatter. Forget about saying they don't have grades.
Okay.
Because we're talking about Rice, we got to talk about kids that have grades. We can't talk about kids that don't have grades. Okay. So what I'm saying is, if everybody had grades in Houston, who's looking at Rice? That's my point.
I got you. Okay. Okay.
And what parents are going like, look, man, listen, think about this, man. You got parents that are growing up in Houston. And I, again, their dream should be, listen, man, I want my kid to own this city one day. You should be thinking about Rice. You got kids in Houston that have probably, I know Rice started doing that little camp on campus, Jimmy, where they bring their teams over, right, Jimmy? How many kids, if it wasn't for that camp, do they even know that Rice even exists? Do they even know what Rice is? But they will hop on a plane and what do you say about the what do they call them? The prophet. The prophet what? In his own city.
Oh, a prophet is without honor in his own hometown.
That's what Rice is. They look at Rice like it's a peon school. And I'm like, do you understand what you have the opportunity to get because you can hoop?
Yeah.
And you gonna go to Wright State?
Good point, Chris. That's a good point, Chris.
And you gonna go to Lipscomb?
But Chris, you want to be
you wanted. Go to Mercer?
But Chris, you want to be recruited. You still want to be recruited.
I get it. I'm saying if they were recruited, I'm telling you, those kids would still turn that school down, man. Because you know why they turn it down, Jimmy? Man, you got to go to school all the time there, bro. Man, you actually got to go to school. It's too hard. I was at Cal Berkeley. Man, it's too hard there. It's too hard there. I said, man, what? Is life not hard? Hey, let me let you know something. Life is hard.
Hey, Katie. Hold up, Jimmy. I'm going to go to the Facebook feed. Katie, why you said this? She said, Miss Grace said, we have way too many haters that live in Houston that are not loyal to the city.
Hey, man.
Well, I mean, in anything, you have to understand something, guys. Guys, we can talk all day long about taking the kids over there, but if those guys are not playing the game right, the coaching staffs, then they're not going to get adequate help.
They'll lose.
Bottom line. And so don't get fooled by this, thinking it's just that easy when you're taking kids over there. Some guys taking kids over to those campuses knowing damn well they're not going. You're taking them over there to get a coach, to make an assistant coach to throw him a bone because his boss can see that he has pretty much connections to get this done. And that grandstand around. And then at the same time, a lot of the schools aren't being pressed to offer, because a lot of these kids that are of that magnitude, of that level, they're looking way beyond Rice. And at that time when they're on the campus, those top shelf kids or top shelf prospects, they're just there, just going through the motions.
No doubt.
And then when it's come times, when it comes a time in the recruiting process, when they're going to the senior seasons and they don't have the offers that are greater of the conference level than of Rice, then it's time to say, well, man, what y'all gonna do? Well, hell, those guys probably gone and got another kid of similar or talent level at that time.
Hey,
I'm not saying it happens, but that's recruiting.
Can I say something real quick? Lord, Marcus Sloan says Pierce Helms at one time was ranked top 5 in the city and had a 3.5 GPA at a private school and no offer from Rice. Marcus, he's at Sam Houston State. So maybe they didn't think he was good enough. Just because you got grades, you also got to be good enough too.
Oh.
They just got to give you a scholarship because you're smart. You got to be smart enough player.
He's redshirting at
Sam Houston State and no offer. I wouldn't have offered him either.
Stop it,
Come
Chris.
on, guys. No, guys, listen, man. I mean, we got to keep it real. We're going to tell the truth. Let's tell the truth. If Sam Houston State was his ceiling, Rice is in Conference USA. They playing against West Kentucky with Charles Bassey's at. Come on, man. They playing for Marshall. They got better than Charlotte. That's better. I mean, I'm no disrespect to Jason Hooten. I think he's a hell of a coach. But if he's redshirting at Sam Houston, why should Rice offer him?
I mean,
Marcus Sloan saying Chris Walker. So Marcus, explain to me why he's being redshirted and not playing at Sam Houston. They don't have to do us. Rice don't have to do people favors, man. They trying to win too.
That's why we said the best players. That's why you said the best player. The nominal player is not going to move the needle, and they know what they're dealing with. That's why Coach Braun got the hell up out of there as soon as VCU, the opportunity opened up. He realized what he was against. That's not, see, at one point in time, a few years back, it was compatible. Rice, the thing was beat U of H. Think about it. That's how it was in the city, the atmosphere in the city. U of H beat Rice. That was the atmosphere in Houston a few years back. Now, U of H, think about it. U of H beat Memphis. It went from beat Rice to we got to beat, as long as we beat Memphis, as long as we beat UConn. UConn got the hell up out of that conference as they're getting out this year. Think about the difference. So that's what winning does. That's what coaching does. And Rice will get it right, but
I don't know if they'll get it right. I don't know.
You don't think so?
I mean, listen, I'm not chopping up the coach. I'm not a guy. I make fun of people and stuff because I have fun on the show. But to the guy's point, when you're at a place like Rice, and like I'm imagining if I'm the head coach at Rice, and I did not have T-Mac, and I did not have Texas Boys Athletic Club, and I wasn't from Houston, right? Because if you're not from here, in your mind, you're going, why would kids go to those schools and not come here when we got this education? Now, they'll talk about education when they talk about going to University of Minnesota or Michigan. Oh, great education. But when it comes to Rice, it's like, oh, no, that's where the smart kids go. You don't want to play basketball there. There's a guy that we talked about on the show a minute ago. His name is, let me think for a second, Trauber. Right? Did he go to Rice, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It ain't bad being Mr. Trauber, is it?
No.
Think about what Trauber doing in the city.
And it's some more hymns. It's some more hymns around there.
More hymns. And I'm going to tell you something else. If you go into West U and Memorial and River Oaks, I want to know how many Texans and how many Rockets live there. And how many Rice grads live there.
You preaching that, ball.
It's a real conversation, man.
You preaching, ball.
I used to drive, when I had my T-Mac team, I used to drive little BJ Holmes and Larry Smith and all them guys and Carlton Scott. We get in the car and we drive through the neighborhood. I say, who live there? They say Elijah One. Now, I think Elijah One may live in River. One of them may live there now. I'd be like, nah, man, he don't live there. And I drive to another neighborhood. I say, who live there? They'd be like, Earl Kemp. Nah, man. Or one of the Texans. I say, nah, he don't live, not here. No, he don't live in this neighborhood. Not that they couldn't, but guys, we're talking about institutional, we're talking about generational wealth, Hatter. That's what we're talking about. When you put yourself in a conversation at Cornell, think about what you told me. Think about the people that your son rubbed shoulders with and what their parents did. That's what you put him in the middle of.
Yeah.
That's what people don't get.
One girl.
Think about his circle of friends.
One of his friends, a girl, a dad owned a Hawaiian Airlines. The other,
man.
Yeah, the other young lady, Joe Ellis, the president of the Denver Broncos. That's one of his best friends. His daughter played on the lacrosse team. She was always hurt when he was hurt, so they always met where? In the training room. So yes, it's different, Chris. But Chris, you just said those billionaires send their kids to these schools. When people trying to pay millions of dollars to get their kids in these schools, that's what the scandal about. What Varsity Blues about? Jimmy and Chris. So it's unbelievable. But hey, great conversation, gentlemen.
And I'm looking at the current Rice roster.
Uh-huh.
And
good.
They have 16 players on the roster currently.
Uh-huh.
Was 12 is on the scholarship, so the other 4 is walk-ons. You know how many from the state of Texas? I'm not going to ask you about Houston right now.
Probably 2, probably 1.
Come on, man.
There's 3 from the state of Texas. And normally that formula is something that at one time Mike Davis had that formula for TSU at one time. But if you're going to go and go outside of the area or not be represented and have at least one token, on the roster, then you better win. You better win. Coaches know that. That's the gamble that you take but the thing is, like I said, you mentioned earlier, and some of the guys in the Boom Boom Room, they mentioned about Rice does a relatively pretty good team camp.
Yes.
Every year.
Yes.
Their team camp is one of, not many colleges do the team camp thing. U of H does one, and Rice does one. And they draw a lot of the teams. So the kids are on the campus. But then when they come on the campus, you got to make them want to come back again. Or,
wow.
You just got to find a way. And so that's the thing. I'm looking 3 players from the state of Texas, 0 from Greater Houston on the current.
I'm sitting here looking at it myself. Wow.
0 from Greater Houston. And remember now, the previous regime at Rice, they went and they got some Houston players on the roster. Now, albeit a couple of them transferred out, but they made the effort to recruit. And it's still, and then guess what? Say what they want to, but the head coach got a pay raise out of the deal because he got the hell up out and got the VCU.
He came from there. He used to be with Shaka back in the day.
Yeah,
but
he did, so, and one of the questions in the Boomer Room is that Angel asked, are the assistant coaches at Rice not building those relationships in the city? Is that one of the reasons? Is because the assistant coaches is not building the relationships? It's possible. It's possible. But at the end of the day, man, you got to find a way to make your program kind of sexy. Even though you're an academic first institution, you still.
Ricky Pierce went there.
Huh?
Ricky Pierce went there.
Yeah, Greg Hines went there. Greg Hines went there, and Greg Hines was at Forest Brook High School back in the 70s. He was, and Greg Hines. That's what I'm saying.
Was Greg Hines a dude? Because Ricky Pierce was a dude.
Greg Hines was a good player, man.
No, but Ricky Pierce was a pro. Greg Hines was a pro. I just asked a question.
No, he was good though. He was
awesome. Greg Hines was one of the top 10 players to come out of his city.
I said Ricky Pierce, and then you came on this guy like Ricky Pierce was a pro. His thing is retired. I ain't never heard of Greg Hines. That's all I'm saying.
Alan, we're talking about people from this area.
No, but I said Ricky Pierce. Because people talking about are they any good? Ricky Pierce was good.
Ricky Pierce was good. I'm just talking about. I'm mentioning Gregory Hines was from Houston. I'm talking about a local kid that Rice recruiting local kids. That's what I was talking about.
Well, Dylan Jones went there. It's a grad transfer.
Dylan Jones went there on the back end. That's like saying Ethan Ewing and John Walker went to TSU. No, they went there by default. Circumstances drew them there. Now we talking about wanting to go there as a student, as a recruitable student athlete from high school. What can lure you there?
Hey, Michelle said, for the records, nerds are sexy. Hold on, let me put my glasses on then.
and so well, speaking of shifting gears, and I want to remind you guys something that happened this week. How about Chris Carter is out at the Fox Network?
Yes.
Over the weekend, there was an investigation, and they're not saying what the investigation was into, but they conducting an investigation, and he has been let go.
I bet a woman was involved.
Well, they said he was fighting because the way he got assigned during the Fox Football Network. I mean, the Fox Game of the Week. I don't know if that's.
I haven't read it yet.
That's probably some of the smoke screen, yes, because he was kind of pissed off that a couple of other guys that was on the Fox broadcast on the Thursday night football, and he was not included. So, but bottom line, Chris Carter is out, and he's no longer the co-host of First Things First with what's the young man?
I don't watch it nowhere.
I watched it, but he handles old Nick. Nick probably happy he gone.
Nick, right?
Yeah, he handles Nick, boy. I'm telling you, he handles him.
And that's when I was telling y'all talking about what y'all can't say. He always comment on how that girl look every morning.
Every single morning.
You can't do that. I know she be like.
But she don't like.
She part of the other fraternity.
Yeah, she part of the other fraternity anyway.
The other fraternity had her. She ain't something about Chris Carter. Unless
I know she married. She married. Yeah.
Married to whom?
A woman. To a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Jenna.
He's the ultimate cookie monster. There's no question.
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Predator.
Cookie monster.
Right. What else you had, Jimmy? I think Jimmy. I had an unbelievable.
What you got?
I had unbelievable for y'all, man. Hold up. I had unbelievable. Your homeboy, Gucci Man, right? I'm switching all the way. I'm going entertainment right now.
I got that bag.
Yeah, that's his song, because I don't know none of his song.
Yeah,
he says that the club that he was performing at messed around and got his Ferrari towed away. He convinced that the nightclub where he performed in got it he parked his Ferrari behind CVS. You know you can't play with CVS. And CVS towed his Ferrari. They did $40,000 worth of damage. You know you can't. You got to have a special tow truck. You can't send little Johnny to tow that thing. You have to have a special tow truck to tow that thing. Gucci Man is hot in catfish grease. He got the Ferrari, the $600,000 supercar. And somebody towed it. And guess what? They towed a Wraith away, another kind of, they towed all the, it
Man,
seemed like it was.
Whose club is that?
Something the name of the club. I forgot the name.
They need to pay their permit or something, man.
Yeah, it's in Atlanta, man. I forgot the name of the club. I was trying to find the name of it. I think the club called Mr. Jones. The club called Mr. Jones. That's the name of the club. But no, Jim, I find that. But Gucci said, man, it's kind of odd. Y'all only told the $300,000 and $400,000 and $500,000 cars. I mean, they went to pick up these cars. You should have saw Rolls Royce pass by, another car pass by, in the Ferrari. They said they found it odd. You didn't tow away none of them Maximus. You towed away all of them high dollar cars. You knew them was our cars, and they towed them away. So I find that an unbelievable topic. Chris, what you got?
Hey, man, you already know. They know they can afford to pay to get it out. How about that?
Yeah, and I mean, so that's of course now moving on. Of course, we got NFL to do. We got our picks.
Oh, let's go, Jimmy. Come on, get your head toe off.
Before we get to the NFL, I want to remind you guys, big game this weekend in the collegiate ranks. All eyes will be on Alabama hosting LSU. That game then, of course, earlier this week, the college football playoff rankings were released, the computerized one for the first of many going into December. And Ohio State was one, followed by LSU, Alabama, and Penn State. Clemson was left out of the 5, and a lot of people fell for the bait and were going crazy because Clemson wasn't in the 5. And so I understand why Clemson wasn't in the 5. You know,
I mean, it's early. They'll be there. Those other teams will lose. Alabama, LSU, one of them gonna lose anyway. So
one of them gonna lose, and one of them, whoever lose, is gonna drop to number 5 at least.
Jimmy, they said if LSU lose, they not gonna drop that because of who they played. They said Bama ain't played nobody. But I want you to. I want to share this with y'all. I mean, I'm just telling you. Huh?
Guess what? Before you share it. This weekend, Penn State plays at Minnesota, who's undefeated. Penn State has to play at OSU on the 23rd of November. So that's what I'm saying. They all got to beat up on each other.
They all got to beat up on each other. They're going to end up being there.
But
the SEC championship, that means Georgia got to play either LSU or Alabama as well.
Well, help me with this one.
Okay.
Chris, I got something for you.
What's that?
They were talking about this morning. That little dude named Joe Burrow, the quarterback, right? I just heard of him this year, right? Can make himself the #1 pick in the draft with a good showing in this game. Let me give you some of this stuff, man. 78.9 completion percentage, 2,800 yards, 30 touchdowns, and just 4 interceptions. Jimmy, they say he's a 4 to 5 favorite to win the Heisman. You understand that? I don't understand that betting stuff. But in the beginning of the season, Jimmy, he was 35-1.
Got to win this weekend. Don't matter. Got to win this weekend.
And guess what? And another thing, I don't appreciate Florida State. They trying to call and poach on Memphis coach right now. Memphis coach right now, they trying to poach on him because he ain't got but a $500,000 buyout. I don't like that. But Jimmy, don't forget we're doing something Monday night.
Well, absolutely. And guys, don't forget it. The Chop Shop by popular demand. We're back at it Monday night. You come and join us for the Monday Night Football. And, of course, that game will be the Seattle Seahawks at the San Francisco 49ers. And if you don't realize, the Seahawks are both of those teams are in first place. Battling for first. Actually, Seattle lost 2 games. That's 7-2. I think Frisco is undefeated 8-0. But this is a key showdown on Monday night. Join us. Guess where we're at? We're back at Phil and Derek's on Monday night. We want you to come out and join us. And we convinced Phil and Derek's to extend half-price drinks all evening for everybody on Monday.
Yes.
Half-price drinks, and they're going to have happy hour specials.
Yes.
So come right after work. Meet us over at Phil and Derek's. Jimmy,
I got a couple of things. The game sound will be on. You can hear the game. They're going to have a DJ. $5 gourmet hamburgers. Happy hour drinks all night long. Live DJ all night long. Doing commercials only. So guess what? Because it's a lot of y'all we haven't met. Let's make this thing. Jimmy, what time you want to make it happen? Huh?
What time? I guess Monday around 6.
Yeah, 6 o'clock. 6:30. 6:30. We're gonna go live, right? We're gonna go live before the game.
We'll check the weather, let them know we go live and come from now. And that's what we can do. And I'm laughing because Angel Badeo says the peach cobbler in the heated pan.
Yes, sir. Hey.
And that never been the Phil and Derek's, guys.
If you ain't never been out Monday night.
Oh man, Monday night's off the chain, and we're back at Phil and Derek's this Monday night. Come and hang out with the Chop Shop. Nothing else, guys. Come watch the first half with us.
Yeah, that's all.
Socialize with the first half and have them. Yeah. Look up while I'm talking. Check out. Let them know what NBA games are going to be going on first. We have like 5 screens on that side.
I'm gonna work on that right now.
Is Mufasa playing?
on that Monday night.
I ain't stand that dude, man.
And so how to look it up. Guys, make sure now, this is the perfect time. Guys, do your honeydews. And that way you'll be able to come out and hang out for a couple of hours with us on Monday evening. Seattle and Frisco. Going to be a hell of a Monday night football game. And so once again,
oh yeah, Jimmy. Minnesota, Detroit, Dallas and Boston, Memphis and San Antonio, Houston at New Orleans, Toronto at the Lakers, Utah at Golden State.
That's it. You said enough right there. The last one you just said.
Gordon sit out for load management on that one?
Yeah, he gonna start
national TV game. He not sitting out. It's national TV game.
And Jimmy, Monday is a holiday, a Veterans Day. So some people gonna be on. Man, let's pack that joint out on Monday, man.
That is a holiday.
Yes. It's
Hey, y'all get to those picks, man.
Okay. Who's up this week?
You know what's happening.
It's me and you, Chris.
All right.
Oh, that's right. We don't want to freeze you out, Chris. You're right. Okay.
Hey, you know what? Chris like a free space in bingo. On this stuff right there.
Hey, easy win, Jim. Yeah, easy win.
Oh my God, man! I can see.
Y'all lost your mind, man. Y'all lost your mind.
Tonight's game, the Chargers at Oakland.
What's the line?
The Chargers are giving up 1.
Man, 1 point, man. I don't get that. Chargers, Oakland.
Come on now, go first.
Chargers, man.
You taking the Chargers?
Taking the Chargers, man. 1 point dog, man. Come on, man. It's football. Chargers, man.
Okay, next up, the Giants at the Jets.
2 sorry teams.
It says New York by 2.5. How do you have to look up that line? Because both the teams from New York, it's funny as hell. They put New York by 2.5, NY by 2.5. Meanwhile, we go to the next game, and that would be my pick. So, Chris, next game is yours. Atlanta at New Orleans. New Orleans is giving up 13.
Oh my God, I'm taking that. They're gonna run clean over them dudes, man.
So you taking what?
New Orleans, 2 touchdowns.
Okay, so you're giving me the Dirty Bird.
Yeah, definitely. They're terrible.
Right, next up, Kansas City at Tennessee, and Kansas City's giving up 5.5. I will give you 5.5 in Tennessee.
Okay, I'll take those 5.5. Is my homeboy? Is Had a homeboy playing?
He's expected to play.
Which one?
Mahomes.
My homeboy.
Oh yes, sir.
He's expected to play. He's back practicing right now, so we'll see his game time decision. But I'm going to ride with that. Baltimore at Cincinnati. Baltimore's giving up 10.
Oh, Baltimore easy. They're gonna beat the snot out of them.
Are you taking Baltimore?
Absolutely. I'm taking the best running back in the game.
I'll take them 10 points. Buffalo at Cleveland. Cleveland is giving up 3 to Buffalo. You know what I'm going to do? I figure that Cleveland can't possibly get beat in the ground morally any further. I'm going to take Cleveland and give you the 3.
Okay, do that.
Arizona at Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay is giving up 4.5.
Tampa, oh my goodness, man. Arizona, Tampa Bay. It's at Tampa Bay?
Yes.
I'm taking Tampa Bay, man. I'm taking Tampa Bay. They just can't win. They've been scoring points. They just can't win. And I'm not sold on Kyler Murray. I'm not sold on that little shrimp.
I'm sold on you.
I'm not sold on that shrimp gumbo.
He ain't sold on you either.
I ain't sold on King Crab Leg.
But it's at home and they've been scoring perks. I'm not sold on shrimp gumbo.
Arizona been scoring too.
Jimmy, you heard what that man said.
I heard him. Detroit and Chicago. Chicago is giving up 2.5. And I'm going to take Detroit in the 2.5.
Yeah, they terrible. Chicago terrible.
You can have Chicago. Next up, Miami at the Colts. The Colts are giving up 10.5 to Miami.
Man, Miami just got their first win, but I love that Jacoby Brisket.
Brisket. He hurt, Chris.
Didn't he get hurt?
He had an MRI. I think he's fine. Is he going to play, though?
Okay, so give me the 10.5 then.
No, if you don't, definitely give you the snap.
Okay, give me the 10.5 then. What are you going to do?
You can have the 10.5. You can have it.
Ain't nothing to talk about. Carolina at Green Bay. How about that? Green Bay is giving up 5.
Giving up 5? Ty Bridges over. His career over. He's done. He's done.
I'm gonna take Green Bay and give you 5.
All right. He's going to call 75,000 times. What's that?
The Rams at Pittsburgh. the Los Angeles Rams at Pittsburgh, and Los Angeles giving up 3.5.
Man, I'm gonna take Pittsburgh, man.
You gonna take Pittsburgh?
I'm gonna take Pittsburgh. I'm not going against Mike Tomlin, man. Y'all can do that all day long.
Okay, stay black, stay strong then.
Exactly.
Minnesota at Dallas.
What's the line?
The line is 3.
Where's it again? Did you say it's at the big screen?
It's in Dallas.
Oh, whose pick is it? Yours?
Do you understand what Minnesota's record is? They 6-3.
It don't matter. They playing at the big screen.
Listen.
And Adam Thielen is hurt, I think. I don't think their best wide receivers playing. Is Diggs playing?
I don't give a damn if Fran Tarkenton come back and play right tonight. I'm taking the Minnesota Vikings. I'm gonna take 3 points.
The flying purple people eaters. Wow.
Now the last game, of course, how the New York Giants at the Jets. Which team is giving up the 2.5? Adam?
Wait a minute.
Jets.
The Giants and the Jets, right?
Yeah. Which team is giving up
they're in the same home stadium.
I know, but
them Giants been looking good, man.
They've been looking good and lose. They lost 5 straight. How good they been looking, Hatter?
They looking good and they lost.
They lost 5 straight.
The Jets are 1-7.
And
the Giants are 2-7.
And the quarterback seeing ghosts. And the only win they got, we gave them a gift wrap one to make Sam Darnold feel good coming back to the league. We gift wrapped them one.
I want Chris to win this one though, Chris. Chris, I'm pulling for you.
So which
Giants, man. They should go for the Giants.
Which team is favored? How does I know what to take?
No. I want Chris to win the whole thing so me and Jimmy can be tied up for the overall league.
No. We won't be tied up. We tied up in wins. You got 3 losses, 2 losses, 3 losses.
That's all right.
I got 1 loss.
That's all right. Chris gonna give you another. Come on, Chris. Do your thing, baby.
Go with the Giants then, man. The Giants. Take the Giants and the Punks. The Giants and the Punks.
I'm looking right now, and I'm looking right now on the line. And the line, it has the Giants giving 2.5.
Exactly.
So I gotta let you know if I want to take that 2.5 or give it up. I'm going to take that 2. I'm going to take the Giants and give Chris the Jets.
Oh my God.
The Jets are absolutely garbage.
That's why this is a terrible game, because I would never pick the Jets. I mean, I would pick the Giants.
Chris, you need to be happy. I gave you the Cowboys.
Oh, you ain't give me nothing. We was tearing that head off.
I gave you the Cowboys.
You can't give me what I already got. We was tearing that head off anyway. What you talking about?
Hey, Jimmy, did y'all see this boy Cole Anthony last night?
Yeah.
Huh?
34 points and the win.
Chris,
he only shot it when he touched it. But what you saying now?
Hey, in case you didn't look at the screen, just in case you didn't, just look at the screen. Keep on, it's coming. Jimmy, you see that flyer I put up there on you, baby? Hey. Huh? Y'all seeing? Oh, he finna pop up on you.
And that's indeed from action from last night's North Carolina win.
4 of those?
Against who was Notre Dame?
Notre Dame. Yeah. ACC game.
Sets the North Carolina freshman record for the most points in a game, which was previously held by Rashad McCants. And great debut for this young man. And as Hatter said earlier, a lot of people, this kid really had a lot of doubt.
Yes. Yes.
And I, that's why I wish, sooner or later somebody's going to create an app that can record and keep track of how many pundits, which way did they sway on different issues on different kids. And you'll be able to tell who was right and who was wrong. Somebody's going to be first and somebody's going to be last. I swear, I wish it was an app. That way now the accountability.
Not necessarily, Jimmy. Just some people just have different in opinions.
Yeah,
so you want everybody to be held accountable for their opinion. That's what you're saying.
No, but here's the thing, though, Hatter. If you get paid for your opinion, then you should be held accountable.
Okay.
And so as we get ready to land this plane, we also have coming up, we have this is an exclusive for you guys hanging with us in overtime. An exclusive. I'm going to share with you guys our preseason. This is not going to be published is in the magazine, which was released on November the 16th.
Okay.
These are the top 10 preseason teams in Greater Houston. From RCS Sports, make sure you check out that website, rcssports.com. How about this? The top 10 teams, I'll give them to you right now. Number 10, Hightower. This is the Greater Houston area only. Hightower Hurricanes are number 10. Number 9, the Episcopal Knights. Number 8, the Port Arthur Memorial Titans. Number 7, the Atascocita Eagles. Number 6, Shadow Creek. They're the Sharks. Number 5, the Summer Creek Bulldogs. Number 4, the Martin Ranch Mavericks. Number 3, Dickinson Gators. Number 2, the Jack Yates Lions. And number 1, the Beaumont United Timberwolves. Now, ironically, out of those 10 teams, guys, 9 of them will be playing at the season opener. How about that?
Man, you know what's crazy as I'm watching this, Jimmy? I don't think one of these schools other than Yates was even around when I was a kid.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow.
I'm looking at this going like, man, when I was a kid in 87, I don't think any of these schools were there.
That's a great
Maybe
point.
Dickinson.
Maybe Dickinson.
Dickinson was there.
What about Port Arthur?
No, it was called
they was called something else.
Oh, okay.
Port Arthur Lincoln. Yeah, back then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
That's how the city of Houston has changed. That's how the city of Houston, as Jimmy said, became Greater Houston. Because all these teams used to be inside the loop. Wow.
And so those are the top 10 teams. Of course, RCS Sports. Make sure you check out that website. And looking at some of the comments, you guys are keeping it going. You guys did a great job on today with the comments and everything on topic.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you share today's show. If you hadn't done so already, just take out the time, hit the share button, and share it with your friends or to your timelines. And let somebody know a lot of the intel that we provided today could be utilized and applied by somebody. And you know, remember, just because you cook, don't mean they're going to eat. But you have to find a way to make that food smell good to them. And trust me, just put it on the plate, leave it out there. Sooner or later, they'll go and peek in the refrigerator and creep and snack on something. But it's about time to slide down Dino's back, baby.
Yes, sir.
It's Baby Friday.
We
I want to thank all you guys. Hey, we love you. Monday night, don't forget, Phil and Derek, start making your plans right now. Let's get this thing on. The women ask, will I be buying drinks for the women? Will we be?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Hatter is tighter than a cool nickel. Now, let me stop, Hatter.
But come Monday, I'm buying the women drink. I ain't buying the women. Yes, sir. It's on.
Oh, and Trey Phillips, thank you. He said Episcopal was existing back then at that time as well.
That's why I was gonna say Episcopal might be the only one.
Well, so Episcopal and Dickinson were the only ones and Jack Yates were the only schools that was back in the 80s that was in existence.
Jimmy, when the magazine gonna be ready?
Magazines won't be released until November the 16th at the season opener.
At the season opener. Okay.
At the season, and the price is only $5. I'm not raising the price. $5 for the magazine. So I'm just saying, and this thing is really, really good. Really, really good, guys.
Hey, wait a minute. Is it sold out?
The season opener?
Yeah.
Not yet.
People talking about it was sold out. Okay. All right.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. No, there are a lot of the schools have sold out
of their tickets. I got you. Okay.
There are allotments of tickets.
Okay.
And we had allotments of $5 pre-sale tickets at pretty much all of the schools that participated. Most of those schools sold out of their tickets.
So the $5 thing over with now.
$5 thing is over.
Oh, okay.
$5 thing is over. You had time. You had to go. Hey, if Macy's had a sale, you don't go, and the sale ended on Wednesday, you don't go. You go to ask that little red coupon you want to. What they gonna do? They gonna tell you.
Hey man, I need a couple of coupons, man.
and guess what? Monday Night Football, we will have tickets for the season opener.
Oh.
And we'll have giveaways.
Yeah.
Every score. So in every quarter there'll be giveaways. We're gonna have. So come
That's
make
good.
sure at Phil and Derek's on Monday we will be giving away free tickets to the season opener basketball showcase. So you come on out, and I'm telling you, there's no dress code.
No.
There's no admission to get in.
No.
So make sure you come and just chop it up with us on the Chop Shop. Meanwhile, guys, on behalf of Chris Walker, the hater, Robert Hatter, and of course myself, the hat, it's time to twist this thing back.
Man, go home about your business, man.
Chop Shop, y'all, man. See y'all later.
All right, there, boy. Right. It's time, hey, get what? It's time to make this cup heavy. Chop Shop, we're up out of here.
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live.